The Q&A session for A Tale of Gothica will now commence.
Thank you, Mother. Hello, everybody. I'm Steve Higgins. I am moderating the Q&As for the film festival this weekend, and I am an English professor here at Lewis and Clark Community College. And I'm here today with the director and one of the actors of the film you just watched, Tale of Gothica. Why don't I just have you both introduce yourselves?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Maya Pegues. I'm the director and writer of A Tale of Gothica.
I'm Elena Ramage. I'm an actor. I was in this film. We went to school together, and we've made a couple films together, and here we are.
All right, well, thank you so much for coming. And one of the things, Maya, that you had said when we kind of spoke a little bit in advance of this, you pointed me towards an article that you had written for Substack about the importance of pre-production and the necessity kind of communication between different departments working on a film. And with a film such as yours, which is very design heavy and artistic, talk about kind of that level of collaboration, if you would, please.
Yeah, I mean, with something so creative, I, as a director, want to share my vision, but also have my crew, my leads, be able to also add their own creativity and grow and really figure out interesting ideas that they could make for the film. And I think having a very heavy pre-production will help you set up for a good production. So when you get on set, people know what they're doing. If we have anything that any mistakes or mishaps, we're prepared because our crew knows exactly what we're doing and everybody is clear on the vision, because I'm very open about all departments speaking with each other also and sharing all of that information. I have a drive where all the folders have all the research we've done, every process book for all departments, and everyone can look at that, so everybody can work together to make this film and not just focus solely on their department, so it is all collaborative in the end.
Yeah, so you can have somebody in, say, hair and makeup looking at what the costumes are doing, and you can have the costumes people looking at what the set design is going to be, and know that everything kind of gels into a cohesive piece, which it very much is. So how much of that was kind of in your head, and how much of that was some of the creative people in those departments bringing things to you?
So a good bit of it was in my head because I had a vivid dream about this, and then I was like, okay, this is something I want to write about, and I decided actually to write a novel. So the novel is in progress right now, and this is kind of like a proof of concept abstract to kind of go with that in order to pitch the book, but also pitch a feature film as well, because that's my goal with this. But it also helps in the creative aspect how to translate my words into reality. I think that's really what my crew helped me do, and bring Elena bringing the characters to life and giving me some substance to really work off of.
Since you just mentioned bringing the characters to life, I did have a question for you, Elena, about basically being asked to tell this story with practically no dialogue. You have a voiceover, but in how much of what you had to do was on the page? How much did you talk out in the process, and how did you go about bringing this character to life?
Great question. So honestly, the process isn't actually that much different than when you're acting with dialogue. Mm-hmm. The particulars of it are slightly different, but the top-down mindset and the way that you go about building the character is really exactly the same. You just have more or less creativity based on how much structure there is to the story. So when there's no dialogue, obviously, you then have to play more of a detective and more of a creator in your mind, which gives you a lot of freedom as a performer. So I do a lot of work going through every single description of the the setting and like the characters and like how they stand in relationship to each other, or like where they are in space that tells me who they are to each other, what status they might hold, etc. And then like I build my relationships to those people in my head based on like what I understand from the script, which is the same whether there was dialogue or not. And then in terms of like talking about it, I mean, everybody goes about it differently, but I do think that part of the magic of like performing on set is that like so much of it is like you're gonna go out there and make something that's extremely private public. Like that's like the work of the actors.
Yes,
so part of it is like I don't really like to talk about stuff with the director unless I have a really specific question, like because I don't think it's any of their business.
I like that. I like that a lot. First of all, I like what you said about it being like a detective. You're looking for, the pieces and you're building your case in a way. And then I like that, the director should be surprised in some ways. I like that. So was there a moment in particular maybe that you were surprised by Elena's performance or any of the actors' performances?
I mean, I think I was surprised in general how good it all was. Because, I mean, I had high hopes, but I also knew that this was something a little bit different.
Yes.
And this was a lot about, like, body acting and, like, relationship in space and, like, the minute facial details.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't really sure, like, how that was going to translate. But I think everyone really knocked it out of the park and, like, connected with each other. And I love her close-up. That's one of my favorite shots. So
Thank you.
I like that you mentioned the body movement, because obviously this is a piece that has a great usage of music and great use of movement and dance. And talk about, if you would, maybe the composer and the work that she did and the dancers and the work that they did, please.
Sudi is an Atlanta-based artist, and she's amazing. She has an operatic vocal, so all of the singing you heard was her, and the song at the end is also an unreleased song with a band also in Atlanta that she made for the credits. She's amazing. This is one of her first films that she scored, actually, so she's a little bit new to this, but she was amazing to work with and has so much like industry talent and knowledge. And then for dancing, I have been a dancer for many years. I did ballet when I was younger, and I always find it's really important to include in film for me, and to showcase that art form because I don't think it gets enough love.
Well, and so much of film is the actors dancing in a way with the partner of the camera. So I like that. I like that a lot. So we have about 2 minutes remaining, so wanted to open up to the floor to see if anybody had any questions. Yes, we have one, and Kevin's coming with a mic for you.
So, like, since there's no dialogue or anything in this, and it's kind of like it felt like the visuals were kind of like all following what the music was doing. What was it like directing everyone on set? Like, were you playing the music there, or okay, gotcha. Like, can you tell me like how that dialogue went?
I think it kind of circles back to pre-production. Is I give my actors so much information that it's almost overwhelming. So when they come on set, they know what they're doing. We have a conversation, be like, this is the tone. I have, like, in the dressing room that we had set up, I had specific playlists per scene. So before we were setting up for our scene, I would play that playlist, and everyone would kind of get into that mindset, especially for the birch tree scene, which is the last couple of shots, the blue. Since that was a very emotionally heavy scene, we had music that kind of corresponded with that, but also I made sure the tone on set was the same as the actors were giving. So everyone was quiet, we were giving the space for the actors to really emote and give like their full performance.
Hello, I was just wondering if there was any like specific pieces of media that inspired like the visuals for this.
I love animated films, and Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust was a huge inspiration because I love Gothic media, and horror and romance fantasy, so I wanted to basically combine all of those together, but that movie was a huge inspiration for me.
All right, well, thank you both very much. Maya and Elena, give them another round of applause.
Thank you.
Thanks, y'all.